Welcome to the Big Blue Offensive Podcast with Mike Trainer, Jay Jules, and John Depot. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the BBO NYG Podcast. I'm Mike. That's Jules. That's Vin. Giants news, guys. Everybody staying, I guess. Are you happy with the with that or not?
We're running it back.
Run it back with these bums, with these losers.
Well, here goes my insane prediction. All right. Here's my insane prediction on this running it back nonsense. Okay. All right. Insane bold prediction. Sanders falls to the Giants at 3. They draft him. The Giants are absolutely atrocious for the entire season. They fire everyone, and Deion Sanders is the coach of 2026, the coach's son. I can't wait. Giant football's going to suck for another decade. Okay.
I do not want that to happen. Vin, you want that to happen?
I want none of that to happen. I'm hoping Deion goes to the Cowboys in the next week or so. That's what I'm hoping. I hope we touch nothing with Deion. Nothing.
Mike McCarthy, getting the axe. He's probably going to the Bears because he interviewed with them, right? So he's gone. He's going to be Caleb's coach.
Wait, where do you think Ben?
What'd you say?
Ben Johnson. Where do you think he's going to go?
Ben Johnson. That's a good one. I know he was linked to the Bears.
That's what I thought.
I think he might stay.
Yeah, he could end up in Dallas.
I think Kellen Moore is going to Dallas.
Why? Well, yes, the Eagles' rushing attack looked great, but other than that, AJ Brown had the worst career. I'm gonna go through it again. My man AJ Brown was reading a book on how to fucking deal with stress on the sideline of the playoff game that they were winning because they didn't want to throw the ball to him.
That book was about mental stableness or whatever. It was like 536,000 on Amazon. It went up to number 1 after this fucking Sunday. It was ridiculous. Everybody started buying it. Look it up on Amazon. You'll see it. You'll see.
I heard he didn't read it. I heard he didn't even read it.
Yeah, no, he just opened up to a random page. I'm like,
dude, looking for the pictures.
Oh yeah. Where's the footballs?
It's crazy how AJ Brown's become a diva too. Because when he was Titans, he was kind of quiet. I know it's Tennessee, and the team wasn't nasty.
Yeah, he was a little boisterous, but they just sucked. You know what I mean? I think they tried to get him the ball. He just didn't, like Marcus Mariota and other guys couldn't do it.
I think he's a problem. I think he can him and that boy. You know how I feel about these diva receivers. I think he's going to be the cancer in that locker room. He's a problem.
Can I ask you a question, Vince? I know I'm so glad you brought the diva wide receiver up. Now, the Washington game over the weekend, did you see Malik Neighbors go root for Jaden Daniels in Washington and root for him?
Tweeting too much. This kid's an attention whore. It's too much.
You know what? I think the media is just too much on the Giants' dick. Like, give it a break. So what? A rookie wide receiver that his fucking college teammate and possible roommate was fucking that he played with for the last 2 years is having almost success. He went to go root his boy on. And all of a sudden the media is blowing that up.
You don't think
they need to get off the Giants' dick. That's what they need to do.
But that's the media. That's their job. You don't think it's a little much by him?
You think it's the first time?
Not a good look.
You think that's the first time that's ever happened?
No, but do you remember
him? All right. So how come you have to blow this up?
Jules, you remember him during the game? He went over to his sideline and was hugging him and talking to him. Jaden just sitting there chilling, winning the game. And this Malik Davis like a little puppy dog. I want to play with you. I miss you. Get out of here.
You didn't say all that, bro.
How do you know?
I heard it. Yep. NFL cameras caught it. The audio caught it. I heard it.
NFL films pretty good.
It's like, please. He's like, please.
He's like, get me out of New York. I want to play you. Watch.
Listen, like I say, that was his dude for 2 years, and that was the guy that helped him get drafted in the top fucking 5 in the top 6 in the NFL. Like, you know what? That you have a connection there, and now you see your boy having success. You're done. Season's over, and you went to go fuck root for him. And the big thing is that he put that shit in a quote unquote parlay. So clearly he bet on some other teams, and he hit a fucking parlay. That was the last thing he needed to hit was that he bet on his boy to hit. Like, bro, it's not, you know what I mean? There's nothing else with that. There's not, look, if we watch next year or this coming season and we see that Jaden's all of a sudden and like, you know, like he's looking at him and they're like fucking talking to each other during the game and like not in a competitive way, like, you know, oh, don't worry, bro, I'm going to drop this pass or some bullshit. All right, then we got a problem. But if they just continuously like they're just friends and they know each other, there's so much of that nowadays. It's ridiculous. It ain't like it used to be, bro.
You're
It's not even close.
at the wheel, Jules. You're sleeping at the wheel. You're letting
We
too
shall
much
see.
ride.
We shall see.
You're letting way too much ride with this kid.
Oh, you know what? Then we get the Sanders brothers, and then Father Dion comes in, and that's it. We're running into the fucking Sanders thing. We just run this franchise right into the ground.
Do we want Darnold? Do you think Darnold's price obviously came down? Do we want him? How much?
No, dude sucks. He's a loser.
For what?
I don't know why I bet Minnesota last night. What am I crazy? I should have listened to myself last week when I said JJ McCarthy was going to be the guy because Darnold sucks. Yet I still bet Minnesota like a maniac last night.
I told you the Rams. They're my pick.
You're right.
The Rams.
You're right. I should have fucking went with him. I'm so stupid.
I love the Rams. The most underrated quarterback, the most underrated team. People have forgotten about the Rams. Rams slapped that Minnesota team around, slapped them around, made Darnold see ghosts. Are you kidding me?
He was definitely seeing ghosts.
He looked like an idiot. It looked like he never played football before.
I don't want Sam Darnold. I definitely do not want Sam Darnold.
Jules, there's people that wanted to pay him $100 million on our Giants Twitter feed. $100 million for 3 years. What are you, nuts?
And you know what? You know what everybody's forgetting here. You know, I just been seeing too much of this over the last couple of weeks. Quarterbacks. Look at Jay and Daniels. Oh my God, the quarterback. Take a look at the teams in the fucking in the playoffs. Every single team, even the ones that are now eliminated, every single team has a top 15 offensive line. Every team has a top 15 offensive line. Not a top quarterback. That shit came after. They have a top offensive line. Yes, we missed with fucking Neal 100%.
And Jules, they're running the ball to these teams. Look at their running backs.
Exactly.
They don't even pass anymore. It's crazy.
Well, you also had some of the top rushers. So, like, you know, there was a big debate where it was like St. Brown is like literally the only top receiver left, quote unquote, in the playoffs. But that's because AJ Brown had a down year. That's because fucking the dude Rice, right? That was the dude that got hurt. Rashee Rice got hurt on Kansas City. Because that dude, if he would have kept going throughout the season, his numbers would have been way up there too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm trying to say? Like Puka Nacua got hurt. So he missed like 5-6 games of the season. So like that's why his numbers are fucking down. Cooper Kupp even got hurt. I mean, you have a lot of fucking injuries with these top receivers that are left in the playoffs. Like you're gonna tell me that it doesn't matter. Zay Flowers went over 1,000 yards. He got hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like yo, like it's just such a fucking retarded thing. But the one thing that stayed true throughout everyone is that offensive line. And guess what? These running backs look good. Why? Because they ran behind a good offensive line. If you don't realize that by now, I mean, did you not see if you were paying attention to this fucking playoff game? Yeah, sure. There were occasions where Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, they had to like use their legs a couple of times to make a play. They scrambled out of the pocket. They did what they had to fucking help their team win, right? But at the end of the day, there was so many times that like I was counting to almost like 8, and Lamar's still just sitting back there looking to throw the ball against Pittsburgh. I'm like, well, you can give fucking Daniel Jones 8 seconds, and he's gonna be able to find somebody. You would think. I mean, it's just incredible, and and I'm not taking anything. I'm not taking anything away from Lamar, but like the point is that he has that kind of an offensive line. That's part of the reason why Derrick Henry almost ran for 2,000 yards. That's part of the reason why he ran as much as he did this year. You know what I mean? Josh Allen's the same. He had fucking so much time, and Denver's defense was great. They led the NFL in sacks, and they only got to him twice.
Defense doesn't matter. Defense doesn't matter anymore in the NFL.
Yeah, for real. It's kind of a joke.
It does. It does more than you think. But like you got to understand that they realize that so much so now that all these offensive lines are stopped, man. They have fucking guys that are fucking Pro Bowls. The Eagles are sending 3 offensive linemen to the Pro Bowl this year.
Unbelievable.
They could really send all 5. You know,
probably. You know what I'm saying?
It's a joke,
I think
but that's
Detroit had a
very
sneaky
important.
one or two. You know, like
it's part of the deal.
People are missing here. You know what?
You
gotta have it.
Guys retired last year. Like they lost Kelsey and who's the other guy? Fletcher. Like they lost 2 guys that were there forever, and they replaced them with Pro Bowlers.
That's
like
crazy.
in one year. It's amazing.
That's
what good teams do.
Yeah.
That's what good GMs do.
And that, that's part of the point. Look, have there been teams that have won without great offensive lines? Yes. But in this day and age where everything is about passing, you need that offensive line. Period. Fucking stop. And you're not going to sit here and tell me because Robert Griffin, right, basically goes out, he tweets a lot of bullshit, and he was saying that, oh, 7 of the 8 quarterbacks are all mobile quarterbacks now. I was like, incorrect. It's 6, but we'll give you that fucking benefit of the doubt because I didn't see fucking Jared Goff being that fucking mobile. But anyway, continuing on.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you're looking at guys that aren't even known for being mobile as being a quarterback that they're fucking all dying to get. Shador Sanders does not run. The guy has negative rushing yards for his fucking college career.
I know he
What
can't scramble.
people,
Shit,
man?
he gets sacked all the time behind.
He has no quick release. He has average arm strength, and he doesn't read defense as well as you need him to. He needs time to develop. He's not coming in here, and he's not going to be Jaden Daniels. Not even fucking close. He won't be Bo Nix. He won't even fucking be Caleb Williams, bro. And people are fucking so blind with the fact that they want a quarterback so bad that they think that's the fucking answer. It's not, man. And I'm not saying that we pass on a Travis Hunter either. But like at the end of the day, if we have the fucking opportunity to trade back, I think we should.
I agree. Can I ask you that, Travis Hunter, is he going to change our team drastically?
Yeah, but you just keep adding skilled players.
For a corner, yeah.
If you add skilled players,
no way.
Right? But if you add skilled players and build the lines, you can then put an average quarterback there, like a Brock Purdy, because you take Brock Purdy off the 49ers, or when you see Brock Purdy start losing his weapons, he doesn't look as good. I wonder why. But then you could put an average quarterback. You could give Sanders 2 years to develop in the NFL and then put him with a bunch of star players, and that type of quarterback will succeed. You put in a quarterback first and you don't really address everything else, it's going to be a disaster. I'm telling you right now. And that's what no one wants to understand. And my biggest fucking fear is that Ward goes 1 and Hunter goes 2, and we are sitting there on the clock and Sanders is fucking there. That is my biggest fucking fear. And then I have all these idiot haters that come at me, and I just listed to you what I don't see in this kid. Yo, if he showed me a little bit of a running ability, a little more poise in the pocket, a little bit more arm strength, I'd say, okay, he's got a lot of potential. But, yo, you got to put into mind here. Here's a crazy thing that I had to look up. He is making almost $5 million in the NIL this year, which means you could got a ton of money for self-promotion, for all types of shit that people never even thought of.
His father's name.
Guys down, when you look at Cam Ward made he made $2 million. Jackson Dart made $2.4 million. They're making fucking half of what this kid made. Half.
It's because of his dad, Jules.
Nothing.
It's his dad's name. That's all it is. My biggest fear with the Giants is them like actually trading the pick and getting more picks. But the way we draft the past like 3 years has been fucking not pretty bad. Like I don't trust this regime, man. I don't trust that move. Sorry,
they did that and built up the line, and then got a Jackson Dart.
How many times we've been saying build the line, Jules?
Yeah, I know, but they it's like what's funny?
Got to still draft line. You still have to.
Yeah, you still got to do it, bro.
Every year you have to
do it. You got to do it relentlessly. You got to do it relentlessly. Not only that,
all those teams you mentioned, they tweak their line every year.
Thank you.
They do something to the line, whether it's bringing a free agent, they get younger, they go draft, they develop dudes with depth behind them. Like, once they got Lane Johnson on Philly. Like as soon as a guy goes down or he retires, they got somebody in waiting to go. That's why I think the Jets were actually right. Bowers was nasty, but they got their left tackle. Hopefully that's their left tackle for the next decade or so. You know what I mean? They build on that.
I feel like what the Giants do is they go, oh shit, we got to address the offensive line. So they kind of all commit. They go all in on that 1 year.
Correct.
And then it's like, okay, we did it. We can forget about it now. Kind of what you were just saying. It don't work like that. You still got to address it. You know what I mean? You still got to draft the guy.
And like that, the Giants, either when they do it all through free agency, and then they don't draft like they did last year. Or the year before, Gettleman was like, I drafted Azudu and McKeithion and some young kids and Pert. I don't need to address it with free agency. It's like, no, you should be doing both at the same time till you get it right. You get it right.
So you get that 5 hardcore guys that got a good nucleus with a couple of plug-in guys in case someone gets hurt.
Let's go.
Ready to rock and roll. You know what I'm trying to say? Like people are really forgetting that.
You should be
that's
GM.
why I'm making that shit a point where you got to get this line correct. You know what? If it takes a couple of seasons to do it, so fucking be it.
I'm
All
all
right.
for
Like, stop with this. We
banging
need a
the drum.
quarterback. We need a quarterback. Because
Preaching
everybody
to
sees
the wrong
Patrick
crowd,
Mahomes.
man. Oh, you
You know,
know.
I looked at the stats. Do you guys like remember what Patrick Mahomes' stats were in college? They were incredible. He threw over 4,000 yards and over 30 touchdowns and
That
shit
offense was
multiple
ridiculous.
seasons. I know, but I'm just saying, like, he had those kind of numbers. You know what I mean? Like you look at Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson threw for fucking 3,500 yards and ran for 15.
It's
You know what
crazy.
I'm trying to say?
He
Like,
ran every game for like 8 touchdowns. It was
and he
ridiculous.
still was able to throw for 3,500 yards. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, so like when these guys like they get all caught up in this stupid quarterback hype, it's like, bro, you gotta look at what you're comparing it to. Lamar and fucking Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen, all these guys, they fucking showed up in college. Jaden had a great fucking senior year and a pretty goddamn good junior year before
That's
he
the hype,
came out.
Jules. That's the hype.
Huh?
Everybody's
The
just so
hype,
hype. It's every
bro,
single year. They don't.
ridiculous, man.
They just believe the hype and they don't look or they don't watch, or they just think every year a magical quarterback or two comes out the draft. It just
Always. There's
doesn't
always
happen
a
that way.
magical guy.
It never happens.
Unless the analysts say there's not, right? Because like in the
Unless,
Kenny
yeah.
Pickett year, they were like, there's not going to be a quarterback. So everybody's wrong, but then that was when Malik Willis was fucking getting thrown around.
Oh,
And look
God.
at what he's been doing on the backup of fucking Green Bay.
Let's
So,
not bring that up. Let's get into fucking last week's game. Let's talk about a good quarterback. We all thought was a great quarterback, but sucked. Was Justin Herbert and the Chargers. I mean, they come out with a 6-0 lead. They couldn't capitalize on 8 turnovers by Houston. Houston's defense all of a sudden just showed up. It's the one game that screwed my whole parlay up with everything else. Everything else was that one game. Thank God I made up for it with the parlay I sent you guys with just the money lines with the heavy favorites. But yeah, Chargers didn't they didn't look so great in the offensive side of the game, and they blew it.
and you know what? Like one or two of those interceptions was not his fault. They literally going off of receivers' hands, which just sucks. But it's funny, man, right? You know what? CJ Stroud had a better game, but leading into that game, everybody was blaming Stroud for shitting the bed. But mind you, last year, he was the fucking NFL darling. He was Jaden Daniels. But then this year has a little bit of an off. Oh, he's a bust. He sucks. Da, 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 da. So, like, one thing that, and we'll get into that when we get to that Sunday night game, that just drives me crazy about the NFL is this. You guys remember that movie, Any Given Sunday, Oliver Stone, right, all that shit, Jamie Foxx.
Never heard of it.
Right? Yeah. A funny thing with that is, right, like everybody always took it as just being the title of Any Given Sunday. But yo, if you think about it, Jamie Foxx in that movie, his character, Willy Beam, only explodes for like 5 weeks out of the season, gets him into the playoffs and loses. And the hype around Willy Beam was insane. And you're like, this is an Oliver Stone movie. It's bullshit. But that's today's NFL, yo. Like for real, like people just get caught on a hype train and you go, man.
Willy
Beam.
Beam.
Doesn't matter.
Willy Beam got touched by P. Diddy in the movie, which is crazy, by the way. But anyway, like moving on that game, like Houston's defense was nasty. Houston's defense was nasty.
They showed up for that game and watched them shit the bed this fucking Saturday. All right, guarantee it. Listen, this is what Pat Mahomes in the NFL was fucking praying for, was to get Houston in that game. Because to see Harbaugh prepare for them another week and a third game this season, he would have had a fucking defensive plan that would have given them fucking fits, and they would have had a real tough game fucking on their hands. Instead, they get fucking Houston, who I guarantee you is going to fucking lay an egg on Saturday.
Let's go right into that game because we'll go back and forth between last week and this week's game.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think like Houston, it's funny. Houston's defense and Kansas City's offense, like it's weird. Like Kansas City hasn't been that electric all year. Mahomes obviously losing his weapons, and they've been in a lot of close games where they won by 3 points, 4 points,
7 or 8 one-score games this season alone, and then it's like 12 to like whatever dating back to last year.
It's crazy.
Won every single one.
But now they
the Super Bowl,
and now they open up first they opened up 8.5 point favorites against Houston. Now it went down a full point to 7.5.
Did it?
Yeah, I actually like. Yeah, it's 7.5 right now. I actually like Houston getting the points. Of course, I like Kansas City to win, but I think they win. The refs come help Mahomes out at the end of the ball game. And Vinny's right. Like defenses, they don't exist anymore. At the end of the ball game, Mahomes is going to have the ball. When under 2 minutes left, he's going to drive down the field, either get a touchdown or a field goal to win. And that's how they're going to win. First. That's what I believe.
I don't know, man. I got such a weird feeling that I think they start off slow. And in all honesty, if you really want to talk about the way we bet and all this other kind of shit. Because according to MGM right now, it's still at 8.5. I would almost be tempted to bet the Texans the first half because as great as they quote unquote, everyone keeps jerking off Andy Reid for being a great coach coming out of a bye and all this shit. Yo, they're on almost 20 days of rest by the time that game kicks off. Yeah, that's a lot, man. Yeah, I don't go fuck how in tune you are, how sharp you're at practice. Here's a team that's coming off of a huge home fucking playoff win, and here you are coming off of a fucking 20-day just absence from any kind of real game. I think they're going to start off slow, and then the second half, they're just going to open it up. CJ Stroud's going to be lost. He's going to be seeing ghosts, and Kansas City's going to open it up. They're going to fucking win by like, I'd say probably like fucking 14.
When do we start? And he's done a great job as a foundational year for Herbert and Harbaugh. There'll be more to come, but I think we give a lot of credit to Harbaugh. The guy can't win big games. Now you guys were like, he just won a national championship, a cupcake schedule. He was caught cheating 3 times in that year. He also he's won some playoff games, but if you remember, that San Francisco team was ridiculous. I think Harbaugh's a little overrated. Good coach, but he's a little overrated. He's got no weapons on the offensive side. J.K. Dobbins is okay. They got to upgrade there.
You're forgetting someone.
Lab McConkey was
that kid's good, man. We're crazy.
But they got to upgrade there. You know what I mean? Got to upgrade with some pass catchers. Get some more to Herbert. You know, Herbert has proven he has won dick in this league. You know, so I think it's and he's got to face the Chiefs. You know what I mean? That's a tough division. Now he's got to face Bo Nix too. So he might have to face Shador. You know, there's a lot going on. So I don't know. I think it was good for the Texans. CJ Stroud was kind of forgotten about, tossed aside this year. He dealt with a lot of injuries, still won the division. I don't know. Going into this game, I agree a lot with Jules. I would take Kansas City and the points all the way. I think Kansas City, the rest is not going to affect them. The rest help them. Do you remember watching The Last Dance with Jordan? How they struggled to kind of tread water, do that last three-peat? That's what KC's doing right now. They treaded water throughout the year. They don't give a fuck about week 6, week 8. They won those games anyway. Who cares that they won close? Why is everybody making that into a big deal? They won when it mattered. Everybody's making a big deal. The refs helped them. I think they just know how to win. They put themselves in the best position to win. Chris Jones is going to be chomping at the bit. I think the Texans, again, you know, the Chiefs will start off a little slow. Maybe not. I don't know. I think Mahomes he's gonna show the world. This is an inferior opponent. I own them when they had Deshaun Watson. Kansas City used to scrape them. When, you know, like Houston is going to get scraped. And it's going to set us up for the AFC Championship game to be tuned on the next pick. Go ahead.
All right. Well, we were talking about Bo Nix before, so we'll go right into the Denver-Baltimore game last week. Baltimore, Bo Nix with a fractured back since November, which is crazy. Came out with a 7-0 touchdown lead to start off the game.
Mike, you're confusing me here because Baltimore didn't play Denver.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Baltimore played the Steelers and the Bills played fucking Denver.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
And if you want to stick, the Saturday night game is the Cowboys, the Lions, and the fucking and the Washington. So
okay,
you know, I don't know. We go a little out of order if you want to stay with Saturday games, but it is Washington versus Detroit on Saturday night, which I was a little surprised by. I was surprised that was going to be the Saturday night game, but it 9.5. It is. That's 8-2 or 8.5.
Both big fan bases, Jules. Huge fan bases. Those two teams.
I guess it is one of those kind of things. I mean, listen, the Lions are minus 9.5. As much as fucking Jaden Daniels' story is great, if you watch that Sunday night game, that was two teams that were okay. They were bottom of the barrel playoff teams, and they showed it. There was a lot of inconsistencies in that game. You know, Baker Mayfield had a bad fucking play with a huge turnover that resulted in fucking Washington taking that lead and putting them in the position to have to play catch up and tie the game and giving Jaden Daniels one more chance. I mean, was Was it courageous of Daniels to come down the field and put the team in position to win with a field goal that they doinked off the fucking field goal post?
I saw it, yeah.
I mean, guys, really with this shit. Like, this game was ugly. It was competitive because I think it was two teams that just are on their way to getting there, right? It's like Washington's getting there. They're building. They're way better than they were. But like, to sit there and say that here comes a high caliber team that was literally fucking a play or a score away from getting to the Super Bowl last year, coming off of a bye, winning all the games they did, winning the division that had fucking multiple wins in that division. Bro, this is going to be an embarrassment, all right?
You're going to kill them. Detroit's going to kill them.
They're going to fucking smoke the living shit out of Washington.
It's going to be a lot.
I don't give a fuck. This is where the Jaden hype comes down. Look, will Jaden get his? Yes. Will he make some plays? Yes. Will he keep Washington within the game for a little while? Yes. But after a bit,
take the over.
Detroit's just going to fucking run them down. It's going to be a wrap, bro.
Take the over in that game.
A wrap.
They're going to score a lot of points.
Saturday night, coming off of a bye, you're the big dogs in the NFC, and both of your division fucking team opponents have now lost in the playoffs, and you're the last surviving member of the NFC North. Everything on that is on your shoulders. Unless they choke, which I haven't seen this team do, they're going to smack the shit out of Washington.
Detroit and the over all day.
I will watched it on the points.
Oh,
you said 9.5.
Where?
I think they lose by 14.
I don't think so. I think I'm not the biggest believer in Detroit because of Dan Campbell. I think
the gambler?
We did see them choke last year against San Francisco. I don't want to hear it.
Years ago.
That was a year ago. That was last year.
All right.
I try to tell all the Jet fans today, I'm like, yo, Detroit has it worse than you guys. They've never even been to a Super Bowl, and they're an original NFL team. They've had Barry Sanders retire early, best running back of all time. They've had Calvin Johnson retire early. They had Matt Stafford leave them and go win a championship a year later. Like, they are a bogus organization. Dan Campbell changes the reason I think that they got so good is the offensive line. The line is number one in the league for 2 years now. Penei Sewell is the best left tackle in the game. And, you know,
I had him over Kadarius Toney.
Facts.
They're beating the San Francisco 49ers going into the half. And Dan Campbell goes for it on 4th and long on his own side of the field. The guy's an idiot. He makes everybody's like, oh, he's ballsy. He's fucking stupid. I don't care. I would have fired him. I would be like, yo, Campbell, get your shit and get the fuck out. I don't care about your culture. You just lost us a chance at going to the Super Bowl. The team was good last year. So
and they're good this year.
Hey, the momentum lasted. You know,
a lot of injuries though.
I really don't think the NFL is like everybody thinks it is, where the momentum shifts from year to year. With Detroit, it has. But I think, yo, you have that window to go that year, you go. Look at the Bengals. Bengals went that year. They have never sniffed it back again. They've never come close again, you know?
But you do realize who he's going up against, correct? Dan Quinn was going for it for a third time on 4th down in that game on Sunday night when he had 2 field goal opportunities, and they would have put them within 1. And he went for it both times and got lucky on a touchdown pass.
Got lucky.
Let's also not forget who Dan Quinn is.
He should have blew it. He should have blew that game.
How much of a lead did Dan Quinn have in the Atlanta Falcons in the Super Bowl against Tom Brady at halftime? And the guy blows a 30 fucking point lead in the second half? Are you kidding me?
I love what you just
listen.
I love it because I want Washington out. But I think Detroit is they're gonna show us some chinks. I think this Washington team they battle. You know, they battle in these games. I think
teams.
I think
against average teams.
Tampa
average. Atlanta Falcons average. Dallas average.
That's the league.
When they play a good team, they lose.
Well, I agree. I think they're going to lose, but I think they'll keep it close. I do, and they're not ready, Washington.
From now on, we believe in the hype too much in the NFL. You're known as Willy Beam.
That might be the title of the episode.
So the point's at 9.5. I think Detroit wins.
And it opened at 8.5. So that means real money jumped on it and went up a point already on Tuesday.
I
It's just gonna get to 10 or more before the fucking kickoff.
I think
Yeah.
I think Jaden Daniels will keep things interesting for Washington. I do.
Like
Okay.
I said, he's gonna make plays. He showed some poise. There was one series, I think it was before the half against the Bucks, where he was rolling out on the goal line and he didn't force the ball. He knew he didn't have it. He knew he fucked up and he didn't hit the receiver in the flat soon enough, and he threw it at the guy's foot. And I was like, you know what? That's actually really mature for a rookie quarterback. Good heads up. He's definitely ahead of where most rookie quarterbacks are
He's
at this
also
point.
like 25 years old.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was gonna say
Is he
was
really?
also he was also in college for like 7 years. He was on a Malazing plan, but yeah.
I get flunked.
But seriously, though, like you know what, like yes, like I said, he's gonna make some plays. He'll make it interesting for a little bit, but I'm telling you right now, they could game plan for Terry McLaurin and Austin Eckler out of the backfield ain't fucking scaring anyone, and fucking Brian Robinson Jr. is an okay running back. And then once you get that kind of underhand, and you got people that can fucking stop Terry McLaurin, what else do they have?
Washington's
Ertz
defense
ain't
is
beating you,
suspect.
bro. Ertz is not beating you. All right.
Washington's
So, like,
defense is not that great, man. They give up a lot of
yeah,
yards,
yeah,
man.
the
Detroit's gonna
Bucks.
kill 'em.
Wait a
Do you
second.
not remember? Do you never remember that game when that Thursday night game when the Atlanta played the Bucks and I was yelling at both Raheem Morris and fucking and the way that they were calling that game? Bro, they fucking scored. It was like 56 to like 48. Like they don't play defense. That's the problem with the Bucks. You know what I mean? I think that they did. The Bucks had a couple of games this year where their defense showed up, of course. But like,
How many?
Yeah, I know, 2 or 3.
It was
You know what I'm
suspect, bro.
saying?
They were
Like,
suspect.
yeah, it was suspect from day one with Detroit's defense. Yes, it's missing Aiden Hutchinson, and that hurts.
Yeah, but
So they don't have that pass rush, but they're still good enough. And they're high powered, man. Laporta. Like, have you not seen how Jameson Williams has come on late in this year? Like, that guy's been outstanding.
Detroit's offense is fine. It's their defense that maybe
It's better than Washington's.
And it's the play calling. And it's the play calling.
With Ben Johnson?
Yeah, with Ben Johnson.
I mean, bro, everybody's like, this guy he could have been a head coach last year. He's got a thing to prove. He's out to get a real good job wherever the fuck he ends up landing, or he might even come back, depending on what happens with Detroit.
He's too scared to be a head coach. He's fucking taking
We'll see.
the rest.
I'll just tell you right now, don't be shocked when it's fucking when Saturday's games are snore fest.
It could be. It could be. All right. Well, moving on to Sunday's games then. We got the Rams and the Eagles.
Yep.
Rams are getting 6 points against the Eagles.
Yeah, I
in
still
Philly.
can't believe it.
That's my team, Rams, baby. That's who I'm rooting for.
I gotta ride with you, Vin. I gotta take the Rams with the points because especially with Eagles fans like calling women cunts over there. You know what I'm saying? So we got to ride with them. Go Rams.
I mean, look, you know what? There was a crazy thing that I had heard earlier in the year. Well, not earlier in the year. Sorry, right before the playoffs started. That the Rams are built for this kind of a playoff run, where it was sort of like, you know how we kept talking about San Francisco all the way down the fucking stretch, and they could get hot, they'll sneak into the playoffs. Well, you know what? The Rams did that. You know, they might not have that stellar defense that won them a Super Bowl a couple seasons ago.
Young defense, young.
It's young, it's young. They
Like
kind of replaced a lot of guys, and they look like they're healthy finally. Stafford looks like he's in the zone. That dude was like, what, like 10 for 10 to start the game on fucking Monday night?
Sean McVay is elite.
And Sean McVay is a hell of a coach. He's only like 38. The dude's going to be in the league for another 30 fucking plus years.
Awesome.
I mean,
who you taking, Jules? You taking Hurts or Stafford? You know, Stafford all day. Like, Hurts sucks.
I mean, like, you know, it's not even that Hurts sucks. I think that fucking Kellen Moore sucks. All right. That's what's killing him there because that dude's a moron. But anyhow, and I heard he's up for head coaching jobs. Good luck there. All right. Like, you know what? The only thing I'm a little worried about is the run defense. And I could see this because, in my opinion, Barkley had a kind of quiet game against the Packers. A.J. Brown had a quiet game. So I don't know if the Eagles are holding back offensively or if they're just that bad. And that's the only thing I have a little bit of fear with. They are at home. They are a 6-point favorite. There's just a lot of factors that are going in. And the way that the NFL is kind of like licking their chops right now, they really believe they're going to get the Eagles versus Detroit and Kansas City versus either fucking team. You know what I'm trying to say? It ain't that they're fucking set. Championship, done. But you know what? As a fan, as a betting guy, this and that, 6 points does seem attractive. Listen to you guys and roll with the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, they
Oh,
did get to fucking Sam Darnold last night and kick the shit out of him. So, I mean, they're
If they
hot.
could put
They're
pressure
hot
like
now.
that on Hurts, this game is going to be real interesting. Like I said,
Oh, yeah. Hurts will throw a couple picks.
I think the X factor in that game, especially, is going to be your boy Barkley. If he gets off and running and the Rams don't show up and can't stop him, it's lights out. They're gone. Bye. See you later.
take a look at the other side. You got Kyron Williams, who's been underrated beast this year. Beast. I love the Rams. This is the team I'm rooting for. I know a lot of people, Giant fans, they're like, oh, I like Tampa. I'm like, why do you like Tampa? I like
Buffalo.
them. I'm a Rams or Buffalo. A lot of people are Buffalo fan or Detroit fan. I like the Rams. I like the Rams. You got the LA Fires behind them. Let's make them a sentimental pick. Let's go. Stafford is super clutch, way more clutch than Hurts could ever dream of being. Now, with that being said, they're in the cold weather. They're in Philly. It's the Philly team, I think, is the best roster from top down out of all the teams remaining. You know, they have the depth, they have everything. I agree with Jules. Saquon's gonna run. They're gonna get him involved. But if this game is close in the fourth quarter, I love Stafford. Stafford is severely underrated in his career. He's healthy. The team is healthy. You guys asked me last week who I think is winning out in the NFC. I went left field. I went with the Rams. I think the Rams, just like the Niners did, like we thought the Niners would have done, they snuck in. They were able to get in quietly. Would they win 10 games this year or not?
Who?
The Rams. They won 9 or 10.
10-7, right?
Yeah, 10-7.
Okay, they won 10 games.
And that was with a lot of injuries. Cup went down. Puka went down. I mean, they had a lot of injuries.
They didn't have Puka for like a month. They didn't have, but Kyron was there the whole time. Stafford was there the whole time. McVay, obviously. I think they're gonna be great. I think the Rams are gonna win in like overtime or something.
Well, it's supposed to be 40 degrees with possible snow or rain in that game on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I think it's
not going to be freezing cold, right? You know what I mean?
But it's a fact.
I mean, it's a factor because Stafford played in Georgia, LA, Georgia in college, Detroit, which had a dome, and fucking LA. So, you know what? He's not the most wedded quarterback.
I don't like that they do a Monday night game because now the Rams have one less day. It matters.
They fucked a lot of teams. True. They fucked a lot of teams. Washington got fucked too. They played Sunday night. They got to play Saturday night.
Yeah, like what are they doing that? Love it. Like you're really screwing these dudes up. And
why about the money?
The NFL is
about that money.
Trying their hardest to fucking set it up so that it's fucking Detroit versus Philly, Kansas City versus either one. They don't care.
It's always set up that way. Well, I think Philly kind of got lucky, right? Beating a Green Bay team that went into the game bagged up, and then they lost like 5 guys. Like it was like brutal.
By injuries, Dobbs went down. Watson was already out. Love was already
hurt. Yeah, everybody got work. Yeah, Love was banged up.
Reed got knocked out a few times too, where he was almost down and out. You know,
that game was close at the end. It was really close at the end.
And here goes another one, right? Was it Jordan Love getting all the praise last year when he threw 30 touchdowns and all this shit? We love Jordan.
I remember.
And now they say Jordan Love is the problem. Well, Jordan Love also had a fucked up elbow on his throwing hand, where in last week's game prior, he couldn't feel his fucking hand. Yes, the guy's a baller and went out there and still played, but he wasn't 100%.
He looked off.
You're right. They did beat a wounded Packer team, but I also feel like they might have held back. So that's what I'm afraid of. I don't know if we're going to get that on this Sunday. I think they might just be all fucking out and let it rip. We'll see. I would love to see the Rams win that game.
Hell yeah, Rams. End this Philly run. End it now. Do it. They're the team that can do it.
Shit, right, you get Washington out on Saturday and fucking Philly out on Sunday.
Take them both out.
It's a good motherfucking weekend.
I mean, nice.
It's not going to happen.
All right. Well, moving on to the game of the week. Ravens at Bills. What I was talking about before with the Bills, like how Denver just came out with Bo Nix with a fractured back, started the game 7-0 touchdown. I'm like, live wager Bills, because you knew that wasn't going to last.
It was still like minus 400 at that point.
It was, I seen the line. It got down to minus 250. I was like, I jumped on that with a couple of bets, made some money there. But I tell you, yeah, Buffalo just looks for real. Josh Allen is just having that MVP season. I know people love Lamar, but I tell you, watching Josh Allen to do what he's doing with the guys he has and the team he has. But I understand, like, Cook is a nasty running back. He's having some year for Buffalo, too. But I tell you, Josh Allen, he's MVP in my book. That I can't wait for that game. That's the game of the week. I can't wait to see it. Bring on Lamar. That's two MVPs going at each other. I can't wait for that game, man. I can't wait. It's gonna be one of the best games we'll probably watch in a long time. I think. I hope so. I hope it's a great game. But
Vin,
give me
I'm
the
actually
Bills.
gonna go.
Give me the Bills,
Vin,
baby.
Vin, I'm actually gonna go last on this one.
Give me the
Okay.
Bills.
Give me the Ravens.
The Ravens. Why, Vid, do you like the Ravens? Because they beat up who they beat up last week? Pittsburgh, which Russell Wilson just fell off the face of the earth the past 8 weeks, being a loser that he is
Yeah,
now.
I also think Pickens is a big problem. You know how I feel about all that with these diva receivers, how they could blow up an entire team that was 10-5 and then ridiculous. I think the Ravens are a better team overall. Buffalo, other than Allen Cat, like this was supposed to be a rebuild year for Buffalo, and they have astoundingly beat all odds with Josh Allen. That's why I would give Josh Allen the MVP. I wouldn't be surprised if Lamar got it because his numbers are better. But
It's in Buffalo too, Vin.
I know. I just think Derrick Henry is going to run on Buffalo. Derrick Henry is going to be the difference maker here. Derrick Henry is going to open up the lanes. I think it's going to be a great game. And I'm rooting for Buffalo. I want Buffalo to win. But I think this is the year that Baltimore might even get through Kansas City. Like, this is Baltimore's year. This has to be it. Will Lamar Jackson of playoff past show up? I wouldn't be surprised if that happens again. But I don't know. I think Josh Allen's going to be ramped up. I'm ramped up for this. I'm going out. I don't know where I'm going yet, but I'm going out because we're off for Martin Luther King the next day. So I'll be out there in the streets. I'll be looking for wings. I'll be looking for some wings. I want to watch that game's at 6, right?
Yeah, that's a 6:30 game.
6:30.
That's perfect. That is perfect. That is a perfect time. That's how it should be. The night games not go too late. They start at 6. I love it.
Yeah, it's perfect.
I know
That's
some
the day
good
off.
sports buzz in the city we get.
I think I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm pretty confident. I think the Ravens are gonna win.
Jules, before you go, I had a premonition that was going to be the Ravens and the Eagles in the Super Bowl, but I'm like, oh, then I was like,
Yeah, I don't like that.
I feel like puking.
The Birds versus the Bird?
Yeah, I was just having a bad feeling about that it could happen.
I mean, listen, it's still very well timed. And listen, a quick side note, which I thought was pretty cool. I don't know if you guys watched when Kansas City and the Bills played in the regular season. There was this fan that was fucking yelling because they had the fucking boots set out outside. And he kept yelling to Nate Burleson. And finally, Nate Burleson turned around and he was like, listen, bro, I'll bet you the Chiefs beat the Bills today. And he goes, fine. He goes, but when my Bills win, you give me your coat. Did you guys see any of this?
No.
So it's fucking pretty awesome, by the way. So that's a big brawling type guy, right? He's a little heavy set, whatever. Nate Burleson's like this fit fucking, wide receiver, dude. So Bills end up winning, and Nate Burleson immediately makes a video and posts it, and he boxed it up, and he fucking sent this coat to this guy. Got his information, found out everything, mailed it to him, everything else. Wow. All right, fast forward to this Broncos game. Curtis Samuel catches that touchdown pass, and me, the non-Bills fan, notices this as we're watching the game. The fucking dude was sitting there, front row, in the end zone, where Samuel goes to celebrate with the Burleson jacket on.
I noticed.
No shirt on underneath. Shit barely fits him.
Oh, wow. That's him?
Crazy. To the point where Nate Burleson had to bring it up again and say, yeah, I did send my coat to this dude.
Wow.
That was the whole story behind it.
You guys noticed what kind of jacket was it?
It was like this real nice, like red, like silk velvet type thing with like a black fur. But dude, it's like 4 sizes too small for this guy. You know?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It was so ridiculous.
No shirt on underneath.
That's a cool story.
I was just like, I remember saying it to him. So I was like, look at this fucking guy. Buffalo Bills, man, they're fucking nuts.
Bro, I saw it immediately. I was like, holy shit, he's at the game. And Nate Burleson, stand-up guy for sure. Not only did he live up to his bet, but he also said that he picked Denver to win. And he's like, I hope I'm not kicked out of Bills Mafia. And Ryan Fitzpatrick said, nope, it's too late. So now Ryan Fitzpatrick is actually going to bring out the game for the Bills and be the fucking the old school player that fucking hypes up the crowd before the game. Wow, they were super loud. This will now be their third straight divisional home game. They have now lost 2. They lost to Mahomes and they lost to Burrow the year prior. Okay. They never lost at home in that round. They beat the likes of Marino. They beat the likes of John Elway. When that team was hot, that was the team. This is it for the Bills, all right? You want to talk about teams that are in a must-win? Bro, you're in a divisional round again for the third year straight at home. You got the crowd behind you. Everything's going. This is what I think. McDermott is supposed to be this fucking guru NFL defensive coach. If he doesn't design this to stop the run and let Lamar beat him with a questionable Zay Flowers, we don't even know if Zay Flowers is playing, which means you got to stop Mark Andrews, Rashad Bateman. That's kind of it. It's kind of it. If you can stop Henry and Lamar from running, you got two fucking guys to fucking worry about in the passing game. I think the Bills can sell the fuck out, who, by the way, are healthy on defense. They were missing 3 key guys against that fucking first game way back in fucking early October when they lost to Baltimore. Funny how when teams are red hot and they fucking, keep going, they don't bring up they'll just compare their head-to-head game. That was fucking 4 months ago. It's not the same Buffalo team. It's just not. Now, here's my thing. After all that, I think you would think where I'm going, where I go every fucking time and everything else. I don't know if I can do it. I have been so hard on fucking Buffalo year in and year out, and it's been heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak to the point where I feel like I'm a fucking fan because I keep buying into the hype. I'm like, they're going to win it this year. Go Buffalo. And no, they never do. It's a shame. It's like, wow, you guys suck. Again, I think the NFL doesn't give a fuck, but if they sell out to stop the fucking run and they fucking let Lamar have to beat him strictly from passing without his best receiver and Zay Flowers, and they win that game, then the Ravens, hats off, deserve it. But I don't know if they can. And as long as they do that, I think Buffalo could fucking beat the Ravens.
What's the line?
The line has gone from -1 to +1 for Buffalo. So I'm getting a point. That matters. And I think that's going to continue to swing back and forth throughout the rest of the week. I honestly think that's going to keep swinging. It'll probably be around the pick 'em by the time fucking kickoff comes.
Other than Zay Flowers, there's no major injuries here, right?
I get that. That's my point. But like I'm saying, if you could, they have to be able to sell out. They got to put 8 guys up. They need to spy on Lamar. They need to stop Derrick Henry, which is not easy. Don't get me wrong. But if they sell out to that point where the run game is ineffective and they just let Lamar beat him with one-on-one type guys on the outside, I like my chances with Buffalo.
I don't know if he's going to be good or not, but look out for Justin Tucker to be a big factor in this game.
And listen, the weather gets a little freaky up there in Buffalo.
It's close. Game's going to be close. It's not going to be.
It's going to go down to the wire. It should be one of those classics. Another classic divisional matchup here. I honestly don't want the weather to be bad. I just want it to just be a fucking crazy game. The crowd, is going to be into it. Bro, another crazy thing too. Catch really fast, gentlemen. How much you think tickets are going for field level behind the Bills bench? Maybe 20 rows back.
5,000.
What would you think? Vin?
200.
Oh yeah. All right, and then what would
$201.
And then what do you think? What do you think like the cheapest ticket is to get in that game?
Probably like $201.
Well, you're both wrong. As of today, prices were going for $130 to get into the stadium.
I told you. You should have went low.
Yeah, I should have took $199.
$340 to sit like 15 rows back behind the Bills bench. Are you kidding?
Wow, really?
So I almost wanted to go.
Yo, man. Guys, I went to the Lambeau games, and the only reason I went was I really thought it was going to be really expensive.
Why is it like that?
$150.
It's disgusting.
$150 in Lambeau? Because they don't. They're not like the big cities, man. They don't have that much money to spend.
Even the Kansas City-Houston matchup is like maybe $40, $50 more each way than Buffalo. Then you go to fucking Philly. Philly's like $215 to get in, and then it goes up from there. What the fuck, man? Like, we are so fucked up being on, in New York, Philadelphia, Boston area. Like, we get jacked all the time when it comes to fucking sports. And the same happens on the West Coast. LA ain't no different. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's crazy how they jack us up in these major cities. And then you see something like Buffalo and fucking Kansas City where it's like, oh, a working person could go to a game. I mean, I hope they never change that because that's fucking great. And that's why they get their real fans in the stadiums. But man, I was just crazy to see that type of shit.
Yeah, no, I believe it. I see it. Yeah, totally. Kids that put in the garden.
You know, look, all I'm saying is the NFL is fixed and Pat Mahomes is going to fucking light it up on Saturday. They're going to fucking smoke this shit out of Houston. Houston shouldn't even show up. Houston fans, save your money. Don't even go to the game, okay?
That's crazy talk.
Hey, they're going to 3P. I think that's why I'm like hesitant to play. That's why I was hesitant to pick Buffalo because I was like, you know what? I don't want to do it to you guys. You're going to just lose to Kansas City anyway.
Unbelievable.
Vin looks like he's just stuck in depression or he's got to take a meat shit or his fucking screen froze. I don't know which one it is. If you're watching on YouTube, but that's 100% what it is. Vinny looks like he's signing off and coming back in. We're going to give him a quick final countdown before we wrap this up, but I don't know. I think we might have lost him. Well, listen, it's going to be a fun divisional round, except I don't believe the Saturday games are going to be good. I think that's going to be really boring games. You're going to just fucking light them up. They might be interesting for a fucking half or so, but that's kind of it. Sundays should be better. I think the Rams could give Philly a good game, and I think the fucking Sunday night game is probably going to be the best of the weekend. So it's definitely some good football ahead. And you know what? Wait. Oh, Vin, I was getting ready to sign off, but you jumped back in. Did you get that shit out? I'll get in. Anything else before we close out here?
Do you think any coaches get hired from the next time we do the podcast next week?
Possibly.
Any predictions? Come on, let's get some predictions.
I can see McCarthy in Chicago.
Yeah, that's what I say. Yeah, that's my only prediction is him.
Yeah.
I think Aaron Glenn to the Jets.
Ooh, that's not a bad one. I think we all knew Mike Vrabel was going to sign with New England once they fired him that day.
It
was just a waste. They had to wait like a week. They were like interviewing. I think Aaron Glenn, like they were going to interview him, but he was like, "Dude, you're just going to interview me because I'm black." It's pretty much like just.
Unfortunately, that's kind of what they did.
It's stupid.
And like I said,
why waste your time? If you know the guy you like, just fucking grab him. Everybody knows you fired him for Vrabel. Vrabel wanted to go there bad.
It's just a really shitty rule that's in place.
It's a dumb
had to put in place rather, and it's shitty that teams can exploit it the way they do. That's what I meant by shitty, right? Like they have to answer to the rule, but there's so many ways to exploit it that it's like it's a meaningless rule nowadays. Yes, it was great when it was implemented years ago, and it needed to be done. But it's not the case anymore because teams will just do that to just fucking satisfy it and then move on. You know what I mean? So like it's lost its value. They found out the loopholes and they work around it.
I actually hope they get Hurts good candidates, good minority candidates. I think Ron Rivera is a pretty good coach. I think
he's washed.
I think Flores is a really good coach, you know, but he got into his head with that whole thing and I think it like screwed him up big time. It screwed him up big time, and he's a good coach. I feel like
because the whole Tua thing and him going after like the Giants trying to sue him or whatever.
Everybody he started.
Yeah, he went after the league.
You can't do that. You can't try to sue an organization and then expect another organization to try to hire you as head coach.
For the itinerary, like Mara made it public, like they gave him a legit interview, but everybody knew that they hired Shane. They're getting Dable, kind of like you just said with Vrabel in New England. Like they knew what was gonna happen. Like I heard Denver was shitty to Flores. Heard Denver like really like they showed up in t-shirts and they were. Like, yeah, I heard because I read some of the work on it, and I heard Flores got screwed with Denver. So he's my pick.
If you're getting me to go there, buy me dinner, take me out, spend everything, spend all that money on me. Like treat me like make it a vacation at least for me for like a week.
I think Flores is a good coach, and because he got into his head about the Rooney Rule stuff, and he's like, "Screw this! Like this is why they're bringing me in." I don't know.
And listen, you know what? It was a rule that happened over 20 years ago. At this point, you know what I mean? It was a rule that happened 20 years ago that needed to happen when it happened. You know, the league has adapted. It's changed. I mean, think about how much it's changed in those 20 plus years, just in general, with hits and everything else, right? Like, you know, CTE didn't exist back then, right? But like, you know, you adjust as it goes along. It's an old rule now that's kind of outdated. You know what? There's fucking plenty of good minority coaches out there nowadays. It's not this sort of sanctioned off weird league anymore. It's not that anymore. We've moved past it. It's got to change a little bit so that you don't waste people's time. You know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying, but not everybody agrees with you because
I know because think about it, right? When there's something in place, you have something to talk and argue about. If it doesn't exist, then there's nothing to argue about, right? So because this rule exists, there's always going to be someone that sees it one way, and there's always going to be another person that sees it a different way.
Right. So
and that's where you're going to create the divide.
Speak to the Gerard getting fired after 1 year. Was he given a fair shake? He had 1 year, and he got fired.
I'm telling you, their intention was to hire Vrabel from day one, and they didn't want to put the pressure on Vrabel as being the successor to Belichick. So he was a scapegoat. Unfortunately,
is a minority. So like the argument on the other end is going to be, look, this guy wasn't given a fair shake from an organization
that he used as a scapegoat. It sucks. It's a horrible thing. But again, if that rule didn't exist, you wouldn't even bring up the whole race thing. But you would just say an ex-player got a bad deal. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
instead of always making it about race, you could have just said that the former player who was brought in and got the okay from the former coach, you thought he was going to be a successful guy, and he didn't. It worked out. He was just a scapegoat because this other coach wanted to come in and now be replaced. But because one guy happens to be black, the other guy happens to be white, and there's this Rooney rule in place, we have to talk about it. It's so outdated. It's so overdone at this point. And if these things didn't have to constantly come up, you wouldn't create this divide in the fucking first place. And they need to just stop with that shit. It's enough already. Like, I'm so over it at this point. It shouldn't fucking matter anymore. And I think a good majority of people feel the same fucking way. But anyway, leave it on that note.
All right, well, no. Who do you think now after we had a week? Who do you think is going to end up in the Super Bowl now?
It's Kansas City, and it doesn't matter.
You still think it's the same teams? Or did it change?
I haven't been playing yet, so I can't change that one.
All right. Yeah, I'm still riding with Detroit and Buffalo. So
I'm still Buffalo, the darling Super Bowl of them all.
Chiefs, Rams, and if Baltimore could sway me based on if they beat Buffalo, they could possibly sway me.
All right, well, listen, here it is. Yo, all I know is Vinny's gonna get fucking drunk on Sunday with me and Trainer because we're gonna get Martin Luther King next day. We off. We'll see you guys next week with Super Bowl picks. Peace.
Go Bills.